Good morning, it's day 11 of the 30-day Film Yourself challenge that I have challenged myself to. And let's take a look and see what today's subject is. Frankie's over here looking around. Ooh, all right, today's subject is the Cubs and why I became a fan. So, we'll jump into the Wayback Machine. Put that in there. Back, way back, we'll start at the beginning. My parents gave my brother and I these little black and white TVs for Christmas in, I think 1976. And well, I watched a little bit, very small, maybe a little bigger. But anyway, I don't even remember, most of the stuff that I watched on there until like the fall. I do remember I was flipping channels and you had to physically flip the channels, of course, as we all tell everybody. But I came across this game and I had no idea what it was. I was 9 years old. And there was this guy and he had these huge forearms and a nice smile, and I had a little girl crush. And at that time, that was Steve Garvey of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Where I lived, I grew up in Portland, and we only got very few baseball games throughout the year. They didn't have it like they do now. But this was October, and it was the World Series, and the Dodgers were playing the Yankees, and I was fascinated and watched the entire game. No idea which game it actually was, or who won or lost. I do know that the Yankees won that year. And I watched that game, and then I said, oh, there'll be another game. The next game is on such and such day. So I watched that one as well. And I think I don't know, maybe it was only 2 or 3 games, and that was over. And I kind of forgot about it until the next year. And flipping the channels, and oh my God, it was the Yankees and the Dodgers again. And in my young mind, I didn't grow up in a sports family other than my dad liked to watch a lot of NASCAR and, drag racing and stuff like that, which, it was his thing. But I was like, oh my God, the baseball game's on. And I didn't realize that there were more than 2 teams and that it lasted, all of the summer. Because I hadn't been exposed to that. And so I watched as many games as I could, and I really became a Dodgers fan at that time. And I would go outside and pretend I was one of the Dodger players and throw the ball in the air and catch it. And, I even made my own little Dodger t-shirt. But we're here to talk about the Cubs. So fast forward a couple of years, and I'm a teenager now. Went over to my grandmother's house, and she was watching a Cubs game. She had it on the TV. At that time, cable was coming out, and she had WGN, and they showed all the Cubs games. And I was, my naivete was like, why are you watching the Cubs? They suck. And I didn't know, but I know now that she was born in Chicago. And when she was a little girl, she and her younger brother used to go and watch the games through the fence before they had it all blocked off. And she loved the Cubs. She thought it was it was her team. She'd been following them for a long time. And she was born in in 1912, and I think she was like in the 20s. Her dad moved the family to Oregon, and so she didn't watch anymore until, you know, she got much older. But we would sit and watch the games together and talk about baseball, and she was one of the first people to really teach me about the game, and I really loved her for that. And my uncle, my dad's youngest brother, he taught me how to throw and how to pitch the ball and how to catch and hit the ball, and I loved that. That really made me happy. And so after, you know, being with her, and then, you know, started watching games by myself, and I wasn't overly into it. I did get kind of sucked in by the White Sox at that time, because WGN would show both the White Sox and the Cubs. And my all-time favorite player is Carlton Fisk, who's catcher for the Red Sox, and then he became a catcher for the White Sox, and he played for the White Sox for many years. And I would watch those games, and I'd catch some of the Cubs games. And then when he retired in '91, I believe, I started watching less of the White Sox. I didn't like the way that they had treated him. After all of his years of service and stuff, they really treated him bad. And so I started watching more and more of the Cubs, and really started getting into it and talking to my grandma, and it just kept growing and growing. And there were some years where it looked like they were going to do something, and then it just fizzled out. I don't know, you just kind of get used to the highs and the disappointments. And I bleed Cubby blue now. Like I watch every game every day. If it's on while I'm at work, I watch it when I get home, because I have MLB. I've seen them, you know, here in the Dodger Stadium. I've been to Wrigley Field. I saw them in New York when I was living in New York, and I just kind of bleed Cubby blue, like I say. In 2016, when the Cubs won, that part's emotional. Not just because of the Cubs winning finally after 108 years, but like I said, my grandmother was born in 1912. She died in 99. She never got to see them win the World Series. So I got to see it for her and for me. People just don't understand a lot. They're like, I don't understand why people like certain sports, whatever it is. And it's not always about the sport. It's about the people that you enjoy the sport with. She's been gone almost 25 years, and every time I watch a game, I'm watching it with her. So I'll continue to watch the games with my grandma for as long as I possibly can. And then I'll watch from up above, I guess. But yeah, the Cubs will always be a part of me, and she'll always be a part of me too. Alright. Didn't expect this to go so sad, but it's a happy sad. And go Cubs. Woohoo!